Everyone's targeting the United States to get clients, but that's not the best idea. I've gotten clients in over 40 different countries, including Antarctica and North Korea. So I'm going to show you some of the best countries to get SMMA clients. All right, now saturation happens on the micro level and on the macro level. E-commerce and med spas can be industries that are saturated, but the United States, the country as a whole, can also be saturated. A lot of people target the United States. There is 30 million companies in the United States, which is plenty, but 20 million of the 30 million are just sole proprietors, one-man bands, people that are just self-employed. There are 59 million people on the earth that make $1 million or more per year, and there are 500 million people that make $100,000 or more per year. And of those 59 million people, only 470,000 of them are in America, and about 33 million people that make over $100,000 per year in America. So there are 10 times more people that make over $1 million per year outside of America than inside of America. There are 20 times more people that make $100,000 per year outside of America than inside of America. So that being said, if we go outside the United States, we have a 20 times greater opportunity to finding more people that can afford our services. Now, America is great to reach out to, but they already get messages from us every single day, pitching marketing services or any other type of service. And so they're a little fatigued in this market. So we want to go to a separate market, right? One where they're not fatigued, one where it's a starving crowd. I knew a guy and I had a call with him and he was targeting Malaysia. And I've never heard anybody target Malaysia at all. And he was sending business owners messages on WhatsApp. Now, in Southeast Asia, I was in Southeast Asia, and like all the different companies, all the different countries, they all have different messaging apps that they use. They're not WhatsApp. They're like kind of like WhatsApp, but it's just like its own thing. So Vietnam has its own thing. Thailand has its own one. The Philippines has, And so not as many people use WhatsApp in Southeast Asia as everywhere else in the world. So he's sending to Malaysia, which nobody's sending to, but he's sending on WhatsApp, which not a lot of people have, and he's sending the message in English, which only 50% of the people in Malaysia actually speak English. And that's more than I thought it was, but it's still only 50% of people in Malaysia speak English. And on top of that, it was the worst cold outreach message I have ever read. All right. So it was something like, do you need a new website? Are you having trouble, sustaining your business? Well, we can help you build your website, do online marketing for you, help you grow your, leads and sales. It was a really bad message, but he was getting a ton of replies because no one is reaching out to Malaysia. So you can get a ton of clients in markets where it's completely unsaturated. Like if you're going to America, they have a buffet of options. They get reached out to every single day. If I'm going to Malaysia, they don't have any options. No one else is ever reaching out to them. Now, again, I'm not saying USA doesn't work, but it might be a lot easier to get clients in other countries. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to give you some options. Germany is the fourth highest GDP in the world. 56% of people speak English, and there is 400,000 millionaires. India has a population of 1.3 billion people that speak English. Almost everyone in India actually speaks English. It's also the fifth largest economy. Now, in India, there are a ton of people that don't make a ton of money because the cost of living is already so low, but there are 750,000 millionaires there and nobody reaches out to them. Now, India's a little different. So it might be a little harder just because there's literally a billion people, over a billion people. And in America, you can have a roofing company and make $1 million a year with a roofing company, but in India, it's less likely to be the case, So you have to reach out to those higher end industries to actually find those millionaires. But again, no one's really reaching out to them anyways. But we can look at other countries that have the highest average salary. Switzerland, on average, there, people make $84,000 per year. 60% of them speak English. There's 8 million people, so the size of one U.S. state, but still plenty of people to reach out to. Denmark, 86% of people speak English. They make $78,000 per year on average. There's 6 million people. Norway, 90% of them speak English. They make $60,000 per year, and there's 5 million people. There's obviously the UK with 60 million people, Ireland, 5 million people, Australia, 25 million people, New Zealand, 5 million people, and Canada with 30 million people. So all those countries combined, half the size in terms of population as the United States, but a ton more opportunity because not as many people are reaching out to any of those countries. Now, it can be hit or miss depending on the country you're reaching out to because of different cultures and different things like that. So in Switzerland, maybe they're not as open to conversations with like hard pitch sales stuff. Maybe they need to build rapport first, stuff like that. And some countries like Malaysia, as an example, they might not be able to afford your services as much. They might not be able to afford a $3,000 per month retainer, but they could afford a $700 per month retainer, which is the cost of maybe like a high-end employee in Malaysia. And if you're from America, or at least American marketing or just marketing tactics from in the American culture, right? So because it's so saturated in America, everyone has to be really good at marketing, right? Everyone's so good. But in these other countries where no one's really trying at all, you can just try a little bit and go really, really far just because no one really is trying, right? So your cost of ad spend is really, really low, right? So your dollar goes further because one, no one's really spending money on ads, and the dollar goes further because they're using rupees or whatever, right? And so it's really cheap to actually do those ads. And the second thing, your ads will probably perform a lot better because again, no one's really doing those ads, and the people that are doing ads, they're not doing them really well because they're not using the strategies that we use in America, which are the, a little more sophisticated, a little more complex strategies. This is a bad example, but I had a client of mine who was just telling me a story about, he runs ads. His name is Casey Redbeard. He has a YouTube channel if you want to check him out. Now he does things where he just helps people get girls, I guess. But he was running ads to get girls to contact him, and he was running them in, I think, Brazil and Colombia. Maybe he didn't want me to share that as like his strategy. I don't know, but his cost per click was extremely low. He was getting like girls to DM him for really cheap, right? That was a weird strategy. But another guy I talked to, another really bad example. This is just a random guy I talked to, right? I don't know. He owns one of the biggest manufacturing companies for like those weed wraps. I don't know what they're called, but you know, the thing you wrap joints in, basically. So he owned that company that makes the largest company that makes those, right? And it's in somewhere in California, Tijuana area, right? He was based in Mexico, and his ad account is in Mexico, and he's running ads to America, and the ads were actually performing really well, and it was a lot cheaper to run them from Mexico. So again, I've gotten hundreds of clients, almost thousands of clients in several different countries. I've noticed some of the weird countries, like let's just say like Southeast Asia or like the Philippines or like Brazil, stuff like that. A lot of times in those weirder countries, sometimes it's like people, they are from America and then they just moved there. So a lot of those, right? Now, people from European countries, usually if I'm getting a call from Europe, it's actually someone that, you know, from there. And it's usually easy to close those. It is still pretty easy to close the ones in America. Again, it's a little more saturated. Canada also is pretty easy. South America or Central America is actually also really easy. Like I haven't had too many calls from there, but the calls that I do get, there are really good. You know, a lot of them do close. The people that book from India are kind of annoying, not because, all right, people from India, I love you and you're great people, right? But they're annoying because a lot of times they just don't show up to the call. So that if you're from India and you plan on booking a call with my team, do not book a call unless you're willing to invest and you actually just show up to the call, right? That's one of the most annoying things. Like they just don't show up to the call. All right, I hope this helped you guys out. I just wanted to make this short video for you. If you want a system to consistently get 120 sales calls per month, you can book a call with my team below. We can help you get clients in all these different countries, including North Korea and Antarctica. If you're interested in that, book a call below. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.